I'm here with Alejandro Cancino at Fen Foods on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. Alejandro is a highly awarded chef, honing his skills at Michelin-starred restaurants in the UK, Spain and Japan. As head chef, he took Urbane in Brisbane to be one of the most awarded restaurants in Australia. After 6 years at Urbane, he decided to leave the fine dining restaurant scene and move to the Sunshine Coast with his wife Paola to start a plant-based vegan restaurant and production kitchen. Welcome, Alejandro.
Thank you very much.
What made you move from the highly dramatic Urbane to the quiet suburbs of Maroochydore?
So the main reason was basically my wife and I were having a baby, so I kind of picture how our life and the life of my daughter would be, and it seemed, unsustainable to be, working as any chef would know, how hard things are, and adding that a baby to that would be, not what we wanted for our family. So we decided to kind of change life and move to the coast.
So a lifestyle choice, really.
Yeah, mainly, yeah.
Now, you're Argentinian, which is well known, and Argentina is very well known for its ranches and its beef. What made you become a vegan?
So I think it basically, I didn't have much understanding of why would people would go vegan or skip meat or animal products. When I worked in the UK, I remember that was the first time I heard about vegetarianism or veganism, and people, we had many clients that were vegan, and I used to think to myself, why would you do that to yourself? Why, having all these amazing products, why would you restrict yourself from this pleasure? And then obviously, as I kind of educated myself on the issue, I realized it basically makes sense. I'm a very practical person. I'm not a health guru, or I'm an animal lover, but I'm not a tree hugger, or I'm very normal, I think, but when you put everything together, there is no, I couldn't argue with a vegan, basically, it just makes sense, and I was like, hold on a second, if it does make sense, and I normally, everyone try to do what we believe is right, and this seemed to be the right thing to do, why am I not doing it, and I think it comes, when you have knowledge about something, it comes with responsibility. Let's say you find out tomorrow that the shirt you're using, you go and see how it's been produced, and then you have an alternative, to this other company that produces looking after their employees, that it doesn't have that much waste, or I don't know. So once you know, there is responsibility that comes with knowledge. So because I tried so hard to find reasons why not to go vegan, and I got basically deeper and deeper, and I started to understand more on the environmental consequences, on more and more. The more I knew, thinking that I was gonna find a reason why not to go vegan, I found myself into this position where I couldn't just say, okay, that I forget everything I read and I forget everything I see. No, now I know, so I can know what I know.
And you while you were at Urbane, you introduced a vegetarian or some vegan products, and as part of the degustation there, and that was very popular.
Yeah, when I came to Australia, I kind of started my journey on let's say veganism, and I don't normally call myself a vegan. I hate labels, and I don't think I don't want to have the vegan police behind me all the time, but I did taste all the meals that we produce in Urbane, but I used to be very on my personal life I would just eat plant-based, and when I got into Urbane, I decided to make a fine dining plant-based meals more mainstream, and make sure that we come up with something that people then will consider as something that it was good, and slowly I tried to veganize the whole menu. I got to the point that I even removed meat from the degustation menu, but then I got basically feedback from the clients that I had to put it back, basically, so I did. But 80% of the menu was plant-based anyway, for anyone who went there, even if you were not choosing the plant-based option.
Okay. And when you moved up here, you opened Lola's Pantry, that you've closed. Why did you close it?
So basically, obviously, when you start on a business, you think of what you may have a plan, but that probably is far from reality, and that's what happened for us. When we moved here to the coast, we thought, okay, let's open a cafe, then a little production kitchen, and we have a lease for 5 years, and maybe at the end of the 5th year we will grow into the facility, so we will probably have to move to a larger facility for our production business, Fen Foods. Within a year we had to make the decision. I had to make the decision of basically closing. Our sitting area was outside for the cafe, and I needed more space. We were we were really busy on the production side, and I had to put basically 2 shipping containers on the sitting area to have more room for the products we were producing. So things changed a bit, and I'm sure I will go back to restaurants one day, but it will be in a very different style, probably when I'm a little bit older, or when I can come back with a different approach, let's say.
So how fast is the vegan market growing?
So in the last 3 years we had experienced 200% growth year after year, and obviously this not, probably keep going, keep growing that way, but even if not, the growth we experience in the company has been crazy, and things are getting more and more mainstream, and I could see people who probably 5 years ago would never consider to add. I don't think it's the vegans that are the population of vegetarians or vegan is growing. I think it's more about the growth of flexitarians, and that's the people that we try to target. Vegans and vegetarians, we know they know what, we don't have to, but for the mainstream, even if they choose to eat 20% plant-based, that's a huge change, and that's gonna keep growing, and especially when people understand why it's wrong, and I'm not talking about animal welfare, which is the obvious thing to talk. It's more about environment and efficiency on how we grow food,
One of the things I find a bit incongruous about vegan food is that a lot of vegan products in the supermarket try to be non-vegan, so you get vegan bacon and vegan duck and vegan prawns. Why do you not promote vegetables themselves?
That's a question I get all the time, and people ask me, well, but why, if you are vegan, why do you want to eat beef? Our brand is beef, and I don't think many people dislike the flavor of beef, and most vegans still like the taste. The reason we choose to avoid it is because of the way it gets produced. 80% of the meat in Australia comes from feedlots. So if you understand what are the consequences of eating that meat, you will realize that probably there will be better ways to consume something similar. So what we are offering is basically, you don't have to change your food habits. That even if people say, oh yeah, I would like to start eating more healthy and probably eat more veggies, the reality is no. People will like to eat what they are used to eat. So first, step one, let's try to make things that are similar to what people are used to, so you don't have to make such a dramatic change. What I see in the future is that once the society and the change is being made and people start to understand what is, I don't know, plant-based meats, even cell-based meats, which is basically eating animals but not from an animals and without the environmental impact. So once that happens, I think there will be room for a new category, which is more, let's say, plant-based proteins in a different format. At the moment, if you have, I don't know, any seeds or cereals, you would have them as individual, grains, right? And you would eat them as a risotto, as a rice, or a porridge or something like that. If you can put it together as a piece of something, like a chunk, without calling it meat or chicken, but more as its own category, its own style, I think that will be something that we will see more in the future, but I don't think the market is ready for it. So if someone launches something like that, probably will be too early. Yeah.
And when that happens, do you think you'll open your vegan fine diner?
I'm a chef. Regardless of what I'm doing at the moment or what I do in the future, I think I have I've been raised like that. Let's say, the 17 years I spent in a kitchen kind of, is in me. So I reckon eventually I will go back to, I will definitely open a fine dining restaurant, and obviously will be, plant-based. Mainly because I want to, first, because I love cooking, and second, I would really like to make a point, and if I, let's say, win an award, or if I get recognition, the recognition it won't, I'm not really, after the awards itself, but when you're doing something that is meaningful, if that gets recognition, you're helping the movement, you're helping something that is good. So that's why I would care about pushing things so we get, recognition.
And I think we look forward to that. That'll be great. So thank you very much, Alejandro. We wish you great luck, and we wish to see more of your products on the supermarket shelves soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.